The hum. Do you remember that deep, steady hum? A gentle vibration that thrummed through the very air of our homes, long before the glow of a television screen became the center of attention? It was the pulse of daily life for so many of us, a constant companion, yet its particular brand of magic, its specific rituals, began to fade, quietly, almost imperceptibly, as the 1970s dawned. We're talking about the radio, of course, that unassuming box of wonder that orchestrated so much of our waking hours. Today, we're going to step back in time, back to those days when a particular set of everyday customs, all revolving around that faithful appliance, shaped our mornings, our afternoons, and our evenings. These were rituals so deeply woven into the fabric of mid-century America that they seemed as permanent as the sunrise, yet they've largely vanished, like smoke from a summer bonfire. Join me, won't you, as we dust off some precious memories and explore 6 everyday rituals that once surrounded our radios, fading into history before the arrival of the disco ball. Let's begin with a quiet habit that often set the tone for the entire household, though perhaps not with the grand fanfare of later, more boisterous broadcasts. Our 6th ritual, often a solitary pleasure, was the practice of tuning in for specific educational or instructional programs. Think of the homemaker, perhaps after the children were off to school, settling into a comfortable chair in the kitchen or living room, a cup of coffee steaming nearby. She might have been listening to programs from the Cooperative Extension Service, offering tips on canning, gardening, or sewing. These weren't thrillers or comedies, they were practical, helpful guides, offering a sense of community and shared endeavor among listeners across the country. Do you remember those calm, reassuring voices explaining the best way to make preserves or how to reupholster an old armchair? It was a quiet kind of self-improvement, a way to gain skills and knowledge right in your own home, delivered through the airwaves. You learn to distinguish between different varieties of roses or the proper way to set a dinner table for guests, all while the scent of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the sound of the radio. These were moments of quiet growth, a testament to the radio's versatility beyond mere entertainment, a gentle hum of self-reliance that filled the hours. Moving on, our 5th vanishing ritual brings us to a time of day when many homes became a nexus of current events and shared apprehension. We all knew the importance of gathering for the news. This wasn't background noise, this was an event. Imagine the family, perhaps in the living room after dinner or gathered around the kitchen table. The father might adjust the dial, carefully, precisely, until the clear, authoritative voice of a news announcer filled the room. This was how we kept abreast of the world, the developments of the Korean War, the unfolding drama of the civil rights movement, the tensions of the Cold War. There was no instant news feed, no constant scroll of headlines. You waited for the evening news or the midday report, and you listened intently. The gravity of the announcer's tone, the urgency in their voice, conveyed the weight of the stories. You remember sitting there, perhaps doing needlework or polishing shoes, but always with one ear acutely tuned to the latest updates. It was a communal act, this intake of information, often sparking discussions and debates long after the broadcast concluded. The radio brought the world into our living rooms, not just as entertainment, but as a vital connection to the larger human story, a shared experience of understanding our place in a rapidly changing world. It was a serious business, this news listening, fostering a sense of informed citizenry that felt deeply personal and immediate. Our 4th disappearing custom takes us to a slightly more lighthearted, yet equally structured, experience, the morning exercise program. Before the days of elaborate home gyms or endless fitness apps, how did many Americans get their daily dose of movement? Through the radio, of course. You'd hear the chipper voice of an instructor, often accompanied by lively, upbeat music, guiding you through a series of stretches, bends, and perhaps a few gentle calisthenics. Picture a woman in her kitchen, or perhaps a small, clear space in the living room, following along. She'd be bending her knees for knee bends, stretching her arms for arm circles, all while the aroma of toast and coffee might still be lingering in the air. This was a low-impact, accessible way to start the day feeling invigorated. There were no visuals, just the encouraging voice and the rhythmic music, relying entirely on your imagination and adherence to the spoken instructions. It was a gentle nudge towards wellness, a way to shake off the morning cobwebs and prepare for the day ahead, all orchestrated by the friendly voice emanating from the console radio. It was a charming, almost quaint way to stay active, a testament to the ingenuity of early radio programmers who understood the desire for both entertainment and self-improvement in the comfort of one's own home. Now, let's talk about our third ritual, one that often filled the afternoon hours with drama, suspense, and often a good deal of heartache, the serialized dramas, or as they affectionately came to be known, soap operas. For many homemakers, these programs were a daily appointment, a cherished break in the routine of chores and childcare. From the dramatic organ music that signaled the beginning of the episode to the cliffhanger ending, these stories captivated millions. Think of Ma Perkins, with her wisdom and kindness, or the trials and tribulations of the characters in Guiding Light and the romance of Helen Trent. These shows, often sponsored by laundry detergents or household cleansers, were a shared secret among listeners, a topic of conversation over the fence or at the grocery store. You'd follow the intricate plot lines, the romantic entanglements, the family squabbles, all through the power of voice acting, sound effects, and your own vivid imagination. The clink of a coffee cup, the opening of a creaky door, the dramatic pause, these sounds painted pictures in your mind more vivid than any screen could convey. This was a world built entirely on sound, demanding active listening and engagement. It was a reliable escape, a daily dose of storytelling that made you feel connected to a larger narrative, creating a sense of shared experience with countless other listeners across the nation. Our second most cherished radio ritual takes us directly into the heart of the home, the kitchen, and it's one that truly speaks to the multi-sensory nature of life in those days, cooking with radio recipes. Before the internet offered a million recipes at your fingertips, and before television cooking shows became commonplace, how did many home cooks learn new dishes or get inspiration for dinner? Often, it was through the radio. Imagine the scene, a busy kitchen, the comforting aroma of spices, and the steady, reassuring voice of a radio personality guiding you through a new dish. Programs like The Betty Crocker Show or local homemaker segments would broadcast recipes, often sponsored by flour companies or shortening brands. You'd have a notepad and pencil ready, perhaps a bit of flour dusting the table, diligently scribbling down ingredients and instructions as they were read aloud. Sometimes, a jingle for Crisco or a jingle for Pillsbury flour would punctuate the instructions. There was a unique challenge to this. Keeping up, making sure you didn't miss a crucial measurement, trusting that the voice on the airwaves would lead you to a delicious result. It created a wonderful, interactive experience, a culinary partnership between the broadcaster and the home cook. The sizzle of the pan, the aroma of onions sautéing, all accompanied by the steady voice of the radio host, made for a truly immersive cooking experience. It wasn't just about the food, it was about the shared journey of creation, a testament to the radio's power to connect and instruct in the most practical and delightful ways. And now, for our most beloved, most emotionally resonant ritual, the one that truly defined the heart of the home for so many of us, the one that lingered longest in our memories, even as other habits faded. Our number one vanishing ritual is the simple, yet profound, act of family music time, centered around the radio. Think of an evening. The dishes are done, perhaps the children have finished their homework, and the family gathers in the living room. The radio, often a large, beautiful console model, is carefully tuned. It might be for the Lucky Strike hit parade, where you'd eagerly await to hear if your favorite song had climbed the charts. Or perhaps it was a classical music program, filling the room with the majestic sounds of an orchestra. For others, it might have been the lively sounds of a big band broadcast, perhaps from a famous ballroom, bringing the glamour and excitement of a distant city right into your home. The crackle, the warmth of the tubes, and then the pure, unadulterated sound of music. This wasn't just background noise, this was an event. You'd sing along, tap your feet, perhaps even clear a space for an impromptu dance with a sibling or a parent. Children would sit quietly, sometimes coloring, sometimes just listening, absorbing the tunes that would become the soundtrack of their childhood. It was a time for togetherness, for shared joy, for quiet reflection, all orchestrated by the invisible magic of the airwaves. The radio transformed a simple room into a concert hall, a dance floor, a place of shared memories and unburdened delight. The gentle glow of the dial, the warm thrum of the sound, and the voices and instruments that filled the air created a profound sense of warmth and belonging. This ritual, above all others, reminds us of the radio's enduring power to foster connection, to bring people together, and to infuse the everyday with beauty and shared experience. Do you remember those evenings? The family gathered, the music playing, a simple moment of connection that felt like the most important thing in the world. These 6 rituals, once so commonplace, so deeply integrated into the rhythm of daily life, truly highlight the unique role the radio played in mid-century America. It wasn't just a device. It was a companion, a teacher, a news anchor, a storyteller, and most importantly, a unifier. These habits slowly diminished as television screens became more ubiquitous, offering a visual dimension that the radio, by its very nature, could not. But the memories, the sounds, the feelings associated with these rituals remain. The core idea, the true takeaway from remembering these vanished rituals, is the realization that even the most seemingly mundane technologies can profoundly shape our social lives, our family dynamics, and our personal routines. The radio, in its heyday, was a master of this, creating moments of shared experience that transcended the physical walls of our homes. What memories do these old radio rituals stir up for you? Perhaps you recall a favorite show you listened to, or a specific song that always brought your family together. I invite you to share your own stories and reflections in the comments below. Let's keep these porch light memories glowing brightly, reminding us of the simple yet profound ways we once connected with the world and with each other.